Okay, welcome everyone. I am so excited to share with you guys a little bit about the Veribella compensation plan, and we actually call it a prosperity plan. And I think you'll understand why we call it a prosperity plan instead of just a compensation plan. It is extremely generous, and there are lots of different ways that we get paid. And because there are so many different ways, it can be confusing, but I'm going to try to break it down for you guys, but not go too in depth because that can be overwhelming. And I also understand that tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. I want to be respectful of your time and yeah, not take up like hours and hours of your time. Okay, so here's what we're going to go over tonight. I'm going to introduce myself, go over just the overview of the prosperity plan, talk about the lab bonus, which is something you're going to want to pay attention to because the lab bonus is it's kind of like a second compensation plan on top of our compensation plan. So you're definitely going to want to pay attention to that. And then we are going to go over some actual numbers. I'm going to break that down for you guys and actually show you a comparison of what I would be making at Veribella versus what I made on my previous company with the same exact numbers. Now I see that some people are trying to get in. I don't see anyone in the waiting room, you guys. Everyone's been let in. So maybe have them X out of it and then try again. But I am keeping an eye on that waiting room. Okay, so here we go. Melanie was actually supposed to be joining me tonight for this presentation, but she had something come up. So you guys just get me. Yippee. Anyway, I am an executive regional director here at Veribella. At my previous company, I had made it to the very top rank. So I was at the top of the compensation plan. I was there for about 4.5 years. So, I'm I would say pretty experienced in the industry and pretty experienced when it comes to compensation plans as well. And Melanie, although we won't get to hear from her tonight, I do just kind of want to give some background information of her as well. She's also an executive regional director here at Veribella. She was also at the top of our previous company, and she actually made it to the top of her previous company before that. So kind of a big deal. She knows what she's doing. She knows what she's talking about. I mean, I do too, but we have to give a little shout out for Melanie there. But as always, go back to the brand partner who invited you to this Zoom, to the person that you have been speaking with. We always are respectful and we don't like to step on any toes. And, we don't steal recruits here. So, if you're not yet a brand partner, and that's something that you've seen before, we don't play that game. We always send people back to wherever they started, so that we can have a great culture, a respectful culture, and one that lasts a really, really long time. Okay, moving on here. Oh goodness, is this not showing up? Let me see. Is this not showing up for you guys? Oh dear. It
looks really fuzzy to me.
Yeah, it looks fuzzy to me too. Let me see. Let me get this out of the way here. Well, let's try to present again. If that doesn't work, I can pull up just the PDF. I'm going to stop the share there and then pull up the PDF. Give me just 1 second here. Sorry about that, you guys. Okay, I think this one should work. Okay, now let me hop back over here to Zoom and share. Okay, let me know when you can see this, this table here. Can you guys see that? Okay, thank you, Kendra. All right, so this is our overview of the prosperity plan. You guys have probably seen, something similar to this from other companies. Maybe you're with a company right now and you're familiar with this kind of thing. But I just want to go over a couple of things because I think the little table here doesn't tell the whole story, okay? So over on the left side, we have all of the ranks, and then going across, you can see like the different bonuses and percentages, things like that. Pretty standard. Where I want to direct your attention here is this second column where it says lab bonus monthly, okay? And you see for each rank, it says $50 to $150. I think this is quite misleading because it's not just $50 to $150 per month. That's actually unlimited. So when you're growing your team, and we'll go more in depth in the lab bonus in a second, but as you're growing your team and they hit their fast start, that's going to trigger bonuses all the way up the upline, if you will. And those are going to range depending on where you are in the lab bonus. And I'll go over that in a second. That can be anywhere between $50 to $150, but you can get it repetitively. So if you have like 5 people who hit that, then you're going to get 5 of those bonuses. But it also goes infinity levels deep. So this could be someone that you didn't even recruit, someone on your team recruited, or someone they recruited who they recruited, if you get what I'm saying. And it goes all the way up the line. And so if you're growing your team, you could potentially have 10 of those bonuses every month, 20, 50, it's unlimited. So I just kind of wanted to break that down a little bit because I do think you don't really get that from the chart. It just says 50 to 150 monthly, whereas that could be, it could be 100, there's no limit there. Okay. And then something else I wanted to point out here in the commission column, our base commission is 20%, and that is paid weekly. So we actually get paid directly to our bank account. Whatever your personal bank account is, there's no like prepaid debit card situation. There's no middleman, which means there's no fees. And getting paid weekly is kind of a game changer, to be honest. I know for a lot of people, it makes a big difference, when we're talking about budgeting for groceries or diapers or, gas for your car, whatever those expenses that come up every week. You don't really have to worry about them when you're getting paid weekly. We get paid every Wednesday directly into your bank account. And then all of this other stuff. So from the enhanced commission on over all of these columns, those get paid monthly. They're considered bonuses. Okay. So we get paid on our teams up to 5 levels deep for the level bonuses, which is deeper than an average compensation plan. We also have rank advancement bonuses. So the first time that you hit that rank, you're going to get that full bonus. I know some companies you have to hit like 3 times, or it's split in payments like between 3 months, or like weird things like that. But here you hit the promotion, you get the full bonus. So you can see that some of these get pretty high. We've got $10,000, $25,000 bonuses for promoting that you just get paid in full on top of all of your other commissions. So that's pretty pretty incredible. I did not have that at my past company. I've already earned, gosh, one, two, three of these rank advancement bonuses, and it's so amazing to see that just like pop up in your bank account. It's crazy. We do have a lifestyle bonus. Some would call this like a car bonus, but it's just cash. You can use it however you want. So that ranges from $500 a month to $1,000 a month. And then as you really grow your team, we do have these, well, what they're called here is executive impact rewards. Other companies might call this a leadership bonus or a generation bonus. It all kind of works the same. So that's what's over here. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing this screen, and then I'm gonna try going back to our other PowerPoint thing over here. Okay, I think this one is working, this slide. So let me try sharing this one. So sorry about the technology, I tell you. Okay. Okay, can you see the screen with the lab bonus information? Anyone want to shout that out?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so the lab bonus, I mentioned earlier, this is like a compensation plan on top of like the normal compensation plan. Another way to think about this is kind of like a fast start program that just never ends. You know, a typical fast start program might end after 90 days or 100 days, whatever, you know, the case may be. This does not have an expiration date, so it keeps going and going and going and going. So you see there's different columns here, and it has code 1, code 2, code 3, 4, and 5. As you move up and, move from code 1 and then on up toward code 5, that's where you're going to get paid the higher bonuses. So you remember in the last table, it said 50 to 150. So with the lab bonus, your bonus for your fast start matches is going to start at $50. And then as you move up, you're going to get $75, and then $100, and then $125, and then $150. So how do you move up? It's pretty simple. They've made the basis of, for every 3 people that you recruit, you move up a code. Okay. And how people hit their fast start is that they just need 3 customer orders once they have become lab qualified. And those customer orders can be of any amount. They can be a $20 order, $200 order, it does not matter. So once someone that you have recruited hits that 3 order threshold, they're going to get a $50 cash bonus, and you're going to get a $50 cash bonus. Okay. Now let's say that you're in code 3 and you recruit someone who gets their 3 customer orders. They're going to get a $50 bonus, and you're actually going to get a $100 bonus, because this is the lab bonus here is $100. Okay. Now let's say that person that you recruited, they recruited someone who hit that 3 customer order threshold. They're the enroller, whoever that may be, is going to get a cash bonus, and then you're going to get the cash bonus as well. Okay, so, and then your upline would get it too, whoever that is. So it goes all the way up the line. Whoever is in, it's going to be the enrollment tree. So we do have strategic placement. I know some of you are probably familiar with it, but strategic placement just basically means that when you enroll someone, you do have the option to place them somewhere else in your structure. And that is available to everyone. You do not have to be a certain rank. From day one, basically, you can place people. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend placing people from day one, but you get my drift. And let me just let these people from the waiting room in. There we go. So when I say the enrollment tree, that just means it follows who enrolled that person, not who they placed that person with. So if you receive a placement, you would not receive the matching bonus, but the enroller does. Okay, I know there were some questions about that previously. So that is an important distinction. But this lab bonus really has the potential to be really lucrative. It's when you first start, it's going to be, $50 bonus here, $75 bonus there, et cetera, et cetera. But then as you grow your team over the months, this can grow into I don't know, thousands of dollars monthly. I've already seen mine in this, I'm only in my third month here. I've seen mine basically quadruple every month as the team grows and as I have moved up these codes. I'm at code 4 right now. So when someone that I've enrolled hits that 3 order threshold, I'm getting a $125 bonus just for doing my job. And that's on top of the commission that I'm making like normal, like we just saw on that last table. I would go back in my slide, but I I can't. So this is just a brief overview of the lab bonus, and it is really complex, kind of difficult to understand, but I just want to get across that this is kind of like a secondary compensation plan and does have the potential to be extremely lucrative for you. And the thing that I really like about it, it looks complicated and it is complicated to describe and to explain, but it's built on this basis of 3 customers and 3 recruits. So it's not anything crazy. It's not like you have to recruit 15 people a month. If you just focus on getting 3 new customers every month and 3 new recruits, and then you're teaching those people to do the same, just teach them to grow their customer base by 3 people and grow their team by 3 people, this lab bonus portion of your paycheck is going to be thousands of dollars before you know it every single month. So keep that in mind. I know it's hard to understand if you have not seen it in action. And I honestly, when I was looking at the compensation plan before I joined, I was like, what is this? I don't get it. Like, someone tell me how this works. And even after kind of studying it, if you will, I did not really understand it until I saw it play out like in my back office and I started seeing those lab bonuses actually happen. I was like, oh, well, that really makes sense. That is so cool. Like, I just got a $125 bonus because this person hit their fast start. Like, that is so cool. Let me grab this question here. Yes, it's another opportunity to make more. And it's honestly, you're doing your job and they're just like kind of throwing money at you for doing the job that you were going to do anyway. But again, just keep it on the basis of 3 new customers every month and 3 recruits. And this, you're going to maximize this part of the compensation plan, this lab bonus. Okay, I am going to stop sharing this screen so I can transition over to show you some examples. Now, before I start sharing this, I just want to kind of give some background information of kind of what led me to these numbers, okay? So, I first discovered Veribella in August, okay? And I guess I really wasn't looking for a new opportunity, but there was just something about this company that it was just on my mind all the time. Like, I could not stop thinking about it. I was doing all the research. I was looking up the products. I was, looking up the company, looking up the compensation plan, all of the things, like nonstop. And in my situation, I'm the breadwinner of my family. So I've got 3 kids and a husband and myself that I fully support. And my income from my previous company was like basically all of our income, and very important income because it paid for the house, it paid for our food, it paid for our cars, it paid for everything. And to walk away from something like that is a very scary proposition. It is not something that I took lightly. It's not something that I could take lightly and just like decide on a whim. I did a lot of research, and a lot of that research was digging into this prosperity plan. So what I did was I looked at my team from my previous company, and I had all of these reports as far as like sales volumes and things like that. So I looked at really good months, really, really high sales months, and then some like lower, slower sales months, like, and everything in between, right? And so what I'm going to show you here is a comparison between what I made in a given month. And I think the month I'm going to show you is from April. So what I made that month, and you'll be able to see some of the numbers and the breakdown and everything, versus plugging those same exact volume numbers into the Veribella compensation plan and kind of what the differences are. So you can kind of see this, almost see it play out right in front of your eyes. All right. Okay, can you guys see this Excel spreadsheet?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so here I'm actually just looking at, in my previous company, it would be the enroller bonus and the leadership bonus. So I'm just looking at these two. But you can see that month at my previous company, I made $14,164.67 in total. But the two categories that we're looking at are leadership and enroller, and that came to a total of $5,767.62. Okay. And when I run my numbers through the Veribella compensation plan, I'm going to tell you how I got here in just a second, but I want to, because I know you guys can see these numbers, so I want to explain what the differences are here right away. These are the volume numbers that I ran through, and that's directly from the team report from that month. And just for the levels bonuses, I would have made over $15,000 more. That's more than my entire check at the previous company, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different bonuses. I'm not counting the fast start match because that was in product credit. So it wasn't in cash, so I didn't really count that. But from all of these different categories of bonuses and commission, I made $14,000 compared to just one of the ways we get paid at Veribella. I would have made $15,000. So why is it so different? Because obviously that's a big difference. If we go back to up here, I'm going to break this down to you because most people, they just don't know how this works. Even people who are experienced in the industry just don't have an answer to how this works. So I'm going to break it down a little bit easier for you guys. So in my previous company, these are the percentages that we made on levels. And you can see we got paid on 4 levels, which is pretty average. 4 levels for levels bonuses, it's pretty standard, I would say. At Veribella, you can see the percentages are much higher, plus we have that extra level. So it's 5 levels deep. The thing that really makes a huge difference is here, the BV or bonus value is what it means. Most people have no idea what bonus value is. So basically, when you have a team and that team sells products, it gets sales volume, you're not actually paid on the full retail value of that sales volume. Most people think that you are. You are not. This is for any company. There's always a bonus value of some percentage. So you see at my previous company, some products were a 30% bonus value, and some products, I would say most products, had a 70% bonus value. So what you do is you multiply your retail volume by the 30 or the 70%, whichever is appropriate for that product. And then whatever that number is, that is what you get paid your percentages on. Okay, so at Veribella, you can see our bonus value is actually 80%. So this makes a huge difference. You're getting paid on more of your team's volume. So you could have the same exact team volume at two different companies and get paid on completely different amounts. And this is why bonus value. It is a big deal to know what your company's or what your compensation plan's bonus value is. Now, ours at Veribella is quite high. 80% is extremely generous. Okay. And then on top of that, once you've, run your retail values through the bonus value, you're getting paid a higher percentage on every single level. So you can understand how those numbers are so much higher. So this is what the math looks like. In April 2020, on my front line essentially had $31,531 in sales. So you multiply that 31,000 by 80%. So you come up with this $25,000 number. That is the number that you multiply by the commission percentage. So in Veribella's situation here, you would multiply that number by 10%, and that's what you get paid. Okay, so for each level, you go through, and of course, when you're actually with the company, you don't have to do this math by hand, but I'm doing this to show you the comparison and the numbers. So my second level sold $59,000 that month. Comparing it with through the Veribella Prosperity Plan, you have to run it through the bonus value, 80%, and then that value times 10%. So that's what I would have made on my second level at Veribella. Okay, so just for this one type of bonus, making $15,000 versus the $5,700 over here. Remember, this is the same exact team, the same exact volume, the same exact structure. Everything is exactly the same in this comparison. And it's almost 3 times as much that I actually made. When I was doing this math back in August, when I was doing my research, I literally thought I was going to throw up. Now, don't get me wrong, making $14,000 in a month is great. Like, that's a lot of money, and I'm not discrediting that. I was grateful for that paycheck, and I just felt very blessed. But to find out that I actually could have been making substantially more money, because I think that when I would run the numbers through the rest of the compensation plan or the prosperity plan, through the rest of the bonuses and everything, I think this number would be pushing $30,000. I would say maybe $28,000 to $30,000. That's double what I made in reality. That's a hard pill to swallow because that's a lot of money. Okay. Yes, it is insane. So I did this kind of exercise with, like I said, all different types of months. So I have another one written down here in front of me. It was June 2018. I did the same thing with the levels comparison. With my actual paycheck that month, the levels, I made $1,746.91. Comparing that with what I would have made at Veribella with just the levels, it would have been $3,877.86. So again, we're talking almost 3 times the amount that I actually made, which is, it's crazy, right? Like, let's just admit, like, this is crazy. So then what I did, and I apologize, I don't have a visual for this, but what I did at that point was I was like, okay, well, I can see, it's very obvious I would be making a lot more money in this prosperity plan with all things being equal. Okay. But what I really wanted to know is, what does this mean for my team? like people at all different ranks. And so I made up these teams and these structures and these numbers, and I have pages and pages and pages in my notebook where I was doing what we call a senior associate. So that would be your first promotion, after you join your associate. This would be the next rank up, senior associate, where you have at least 2 people on your front line and you have $2,000 in team volume. And then I did the next level, which is director, and that's a team with structure and $4,000 in volume, and so on and so forth. I did all different ranks. And so every single time, you guys, every single time, at every rank, people would be making 2 to 3 times more than what my previous company would be paying. And that's the part that really got me, because for a long time, it felt like, I was making decent money, but it really bothered me that, I would look at my team, and my team who was amazing, and they were great at what they were doing. They were doing all of the right things, and they were consistent and all of the things that we coach, and they were still struggling. And to look at someone like that who would be at what we call the senior associate or the director level, and to know that they would be making 2 to 3 times more, how could I not join? How could I not join, knowing that this would be life changing for so many people? Because let's be honest, for a lot of families, an extra 200, 500, $700, whatever it is, every month is life changing. That changes everything for their circumstances. So, yes, there are people who they want to make that the big money. We're talking 10, 20, $30,000 every month. But a lot of people, they just need that extra 500 or that extra 1,000. And whatever the situation is, we're talking a couple hundred to tens of thousands of dollars every month and everything in between. I know it is possible here, because I've seen the numbers, I've crunched the numbers, and you guys, you can probably tell I'm a super green personality. So numbers are kind of like my thing, I guess. So I would be happy, like if you want to see those types of examples for like a smaller team, I would be happy to show you examples after this. I can, write them out and show you guys the differences, or I can even find my notes that I did in August and just take pictures of them to show you and really demonstrate to you the earning potential and how different it is here, how much more generous this prosperity plan is to any other compensation plan that I've seen, whether it's one that I was experiencing within a company or it's one that I've researched and decided it wasn't for me. I would love to show you guys just how prosperous, hence the name prosperity plan, but how prosperous this compensation plan really is. I see some questions popping up here, so I'm going to shift to the chat and just kind of catch up a little bit. Let's see. So Kendra says, can you share why Veribella is able to pay out so much more and still maintain stability? Yes, let me take a drink of water first. That is a really, really good, important question, Kendra. And it's actually almost exactly the same question I drilled one of the CEOs with before I joined, because that was something that I needed to know, because this isn't something that I'm just joining for fun. This is, my livelihood. It's my future, and I want it to be my legacy. And I really, truly believe that's what we're building here, a legacy, not just for me, but every single person who joins. So one of the really important things to understand is profit margin, okay? For some companies who don't have control over their manufacturing or their supply chain management, things like that, they're gonna have a much smaller profit margin. We'll say like 4%, right? That's the money that's left over to like pay people with, essentially. And when a company has more control or total control over the manufacturing and over the supply chain management and sourcing and things like that, they're going to have a much higher profit margin. Okay, so that's going to leave more room to pay people more money. So our products, they're our own. Okay, we don't get them from a third party. We don't get them from a different vendor. All of the formulations, all of the products, everything, it's all our own. We have like an on-staff chemist who is kind of in charge of formulating everything, and then the manufacturing is all our own as well. So we have control over these things, and that's how we can keep costs relatively low and also have money to pay people and pay them well, pay them fairly. I would say more than fair, I think. But that's kind of like a Cliff Notes version of why they're able to be so generous with this prosperity plan compared to maybe some other companies who don't have control over their own formulations, over their own manufacturing, over their own stock, things like that. Whereas we have control over those things, so we have more control over the numbers and things like that. I hope that makes sense and that answers that question. Let me know if you need further explanation there. Okay, so Ashley says, is Veribella debt free? Yes. So our CEOs, actually they're a married couple. Their names are Dave and Trina. They are extremely experienced in business. Sorry if you can hear the commotion in the background. My husband is cooking Thanksgiving food. But Dave and Trina, they own several businesses other than Veribella. They're extremely experienced with everything to do with business. We're talking, more than 20 years experience each. So they went into this Veribella venture debt free, and they really laid the foundation very strongly, and that means that they did start a little bit slow. You see some companies come in and they explode overnight and they don't really have time to lay that foundation. And that's where they can run into maybe some cash flow type of problems, where Veribella started very slow to lay that strong foundation and make sure they had control over the cash flow and over money, essentially. And now we're at a point where the foundation is there. It is so strong. It's actually stronger than any company I've been a part of, even companies that have been years and years old. And so the company is extremely stable. And so we're at this point where we're right at the beginning of hyper growth and we're solid. We're ready for it. It's not something that's going to make all of our products go out of stock. It's not something that's going to just like make everything go crazy, because that foundation is so strong. That's right, Kendra. Out of stock issues are not a big concern here because of some of the things I've mentioned from the previous two questions. One being that we're in control of our sourcing and manufacturing and all of that good stuff. So, we don't have to wait for the manufacturer to finish other purchase orders from other companies. Like, we can just make it when we need it. You know what I mean? The other thing is that foundation that I just talked about. There's a very good stock right now that is ready for us to go into hypergrowth, and still we would not run out of stock. I know that I've been through the years, I've been through a lot of different ups and downs when it comes to stock issues. And so I know the concerns about it. When you don't have products on the shelves, what are you supposed to sell? How are you supposed to make any money? That's a legit concern. We don't have that issue here. So yes, that's also a good question statement to bring up. Thank you guys. Yes, so Ashley, hopefully I answered your few questions there. Let me know if you have any others or need other clarification. All right, any other questions? Because I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. Um, okay, let's see. I don't know who sent this, but she says, I have been thinking of joining the team. A previous company as I was with had a thing that if you didn't meet your monthly mark, your downline and your downline did, you would rank down and not get your bonus for the month. You had to keep your sales higher than others. How does this work here? Sorry if that's okay. So I think I know kind of where this question is going. So you do have to be active to make money, make the bonuses from your downline. But active here is just $200 in sales, and that's for any rank. Like it doesn't go up. Like it doesn't kind of step up, like at some ranks it's this, and then at the next rank you have to like double it or anything like that. It's not like a stair step situation like that. It's just 200 PSV. Kendra, thank you so much for mentioning that. I will say that because I think that's an important point in just a second. It's just 200 PSV, or if you do have auto ship orders, which are totally optional, like customers don't have to be on auto ship and it's free if they want to be. Anyway, if you have $125 in auto ship orders, that's also counting as active. So it's either $125 or $200 that will get you active and get you paid on your team, but you would never rank down or anything like that. And to Kendra's point, our maintenance is a lot easier here because of something they did it's so smart. I was shocked when I saw this on the prosperity plan. When you hit a rank, you do need, the structure and the volume to hit that rank to get that promotion. But once you have that rank, you can maintain on volume at any rank. So starting with senior associate, you can maintain on volume right away. And the kicker is the volume that you can maintain with is actually lower than the volume you need to promote with. And you don't need to worry about active legs. You don't need to worry about structure. So for example, senior associate, that first promotion. To promote, you need $200 or $2,000, sorry, $2,000 in team sales. But to maintain, you only need 1,500. Okay, and then the next rank, director, you need $4,000 in team sales. To maintain, you only need $3,000. So then the next rank, it's $12,000 to promote, but to maintain, you only need $9,000. So that is a really big game changer. Previously in my last company, the top ranks had the option to maintain by volume, but that volume was substantially higher than what you needed to promote or to maintain with structure. It was a lot higher. And so a lot of people still weren't able to maintain because, maybe a few people in their downline didn't get active. And so that threw everything off, or, they just couldn't get that higher volume threshold that was needed. But here, I'm seeing everyone on my team maintaining once they hit a rank because they just make it so much, I don't want to say easier. Obviously, you still have to work at your business, you still have to show up, but I just think it's so smart how they did it because it takes the pressure away. It takes the stress and the pressure to maintain away. And then, you're creating an environment where people aren't having to chase people to get active or to pressure people to get active. And I think that really contributes positively to our culture that, you're not going to have team leaders or your uplines chasing after you, wondering why you're not active and pressuring you. And, you're feeling stressed and all of these different things that people tend to feel when they're working these types of businesses. So that is a really important differentiator that we have here. And it's incredible. I have people in my team maintaining their rank by like the 5th of the month, which is unheard of. Like that's crazy. And to just not have that pressure hanging over you all month long, it's so nice, and it really creates a space where you can actually thrive and you can excel and, actually live up to your potential and not just be stressed and feeling pressure, and then in turn pressuring your team and making them stress. Like, it's just so different here. Oh, Megan. Yeah, your name just says Galaxy Note 25G, which I'm actually curious about that phone. So let me know if you like it. It looks really nice. But thank you for your question, Megan. I think that was a really good one, and probably something that other people have been kind of wondering as well. Okay, any other questions? I'm gonna check that phone out. I was looking at phones earlier today and I saw that one. That's why I was like, oh, that name sounds familiar. Okay. When does the Black Friday deal get announced? Well, brand partners do know what the Black Friday deal is. I would check. Now, Ashley, I know you're working with Mariah. She'll probably just text her and she'll tell you. Um, but Black Friday, I'll tell you this much. The deals for Veribella start, you can start getting them Friday at 8 a.m. Central Time. So if you're in the position where you're thinking of joining, I would really encourage you guys to think about doing that before Friday, because then you're going to be able to take advantage of those deals and offer those incredible deals to all of your new customers, and they're going to be much more likely to take advantage because they're going to be getting a lot of bang for their buck. And then on top of that, next week, Monday through Friday, we're going to have some other special stuff coming up, and you're going to want to be a brand partner for that as well. So I'm not going to tell you what that is, but I know that I would want to be a brand partner so that I could take advantage of that and build my business upon that. And then I'm going to be, if I would be hitting my fast start right away, getting that cash bonus and earning my investment back. So that's something to consider. If you guys are serious about joining this business, I would say now is the perfect time. It is a great chance to start strong, get some good deals for your customers and for yourself if you want to stock up on product too. I don't know. Some of you probably already have a lot of the products. But whatever the situation, it is a great time to get started because there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. And then, moving into 2021, we're going to have new products and lots of amazing stuff. So this is the time that you really want to get started and jump in, and just know that we're all here to support you too. We really are very intentional with creating a team culture that is supportive, loving, kind, and just creating a place where, like I said earlier, like everyone can thrive. It doesn't do anyone any good to have a bunch of people who are unhappy, who aren't supported, who aren't succeeding, they're not thriving. So we are just so excited to have this environment where people are happy. I feel like people feel appreciated. Maybe some of the brand partners can speak up for themselves, but I know I feel super appreciated. I'm just at such a peace here. I feel so aligned. And of course, as we talked about earlier, I'm definitely getting paid my worth. So I'm pretty happy about that as well. All right. Any other questions? Okay, you guys, if I don't see any questions in the next 2 seconds, I'm gonna say goodnight. You're welcome, Kendra. Okay, so I'm gonna say goodnight, but before we hop off, I just wanna say thank you to all of you for coming on here. I know it's a crazy busy week, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and maybe you've got family stuff going on. So taking an hour out of this crazy week is, it's not unnoticed. So I'm just grateful that you guys took the time to do that. Whether you are here live with us or you're watching the replay, I think in both situations. It's amazing to take an hour of your time to focus on this. And I just want to say that we would love to have you on the team. We are so excited to be growing every single day, and we are doing incredible things and would just love for you to be a part of it. So, with that said, good night, everyone. I appreciate your time and thank you so, so much.